All right, here's our last video in section 11.6. We're going to talk all about odds. Odds is a little bit different than probability. I don't know, a lot of times they use odds when you are betting, maybe gambling. And so if they say that there is a 3 to 7 odds that, I don't know, the Cardinals will win the Super Bowl, that's not saying that you have 3 out of 7 probability. What it's saying is that there are 3 wins to every 7 losses for a total of 10. So if I said that there was an odds of 3 to 7 that the Cardinals will go to the Super Bowl or win the Super Bowl, it's really a probability of 3 out of 10 total, or a 30% chance that they're going to win the Super Bowl. Not 3 out of 7, but 3 out of 10. Where part of the odds are winning, the other part is losing. In order to figure out the total, like the probability would be, you'd have to add them together. Okay? Or I could use that and say the odds against them winning would be 7 to 3, or really 7 out of 10, a 70% chance that they're not going to make it to the Super Bowl. Okay? So that's one way of thinking about odds. Here's some other little formulas that you might like to use to figure out odds. But I like to think about the two little pieces and then adding them together to get probability. Let me show you a few examples of odds. Example number 7 says you roll a single 6-sided die. Part A says find the odds in favor of rolling a 2. So we want to set it up as an odds problem. Looks a little bit different than probability. In an odds problem, if I'm doing the odds in favor of rolling a 2, then that means these are all the numbers of me times rolling a 2 versus not rolling a 2. And then we write it kind of in this little setup where we have the little colon in between. So find the odds in favor of me rolling a 2. Well, when I go to roll a die and I roll it once, how many 2s are there? Well, there's 1 2. How many on the sections on the die are not 2s? Well, it's the other parts, that's 5 of them. So I could say the odds in favor of me rolling a 2 would be 1 to 5. Not 1 out of 6. That would be really probability, like we've done in the last sections. But the odds in favor of me rolling a 2 would be 1 to 5. Rolling a 2 versus not rolling a 2. Okay? Let's look at B. B says find the odds against me rolling a 2. So now I need to think about all the times that I don't have a 2 versus all the times that they are a 2. So how many sections on a die is not a 2? Well, it's 5 sections versus the 1 section that is a 2. So the odds against me rolling a 2 would be 5 to 1. A little bit different than probability. Remember, if I asked you for the probability of rolling a 2, remember probability is what you want at a total. If I want the probability against me rolling a 2, that would be 5 out of 6 because 6 would be the total. A little bit different than odds, so you've got to be careful. Okay? Look at example 8 with me. Example 8 says the winner of a raffle will receive a new SUV. If 500 raffle tickets were sold and you purchased 10 of them, what are the odds against you winning the car? So when I set up odds, I need to set it up with my 2 little numbers into a little ratio with my colon in between. And if this is odds against winning the car, the first number would be not winning, right? Against winning. My other number would be all the winners. And so now we need to be careful. How many winning tickets could there be? Well, if you purchase 10 of them, well, 10 of those tickets could be the winner. If 10 of them are winners, how many of them are not winners? Well, it's the 490 that are left over. Not all 500 because you bought 10 of them. And so the odds would be 490 to 10. Normally we reduce and write it as a 49 to 1 ratio. So you have a 49 to 1 odds against you winning the car. Different than probability. Okay? So the last little idea is how can we go then from probability to odds and odds to probability? Remember that probability is what you want out of the total. And so if they give you an odds problem, then what you need to do to figure out the total is add the two numbers together. Let me show you an example. Example number 9 says the odds in favor of a particular horse winning a race are 2 to 5. What is the probability that this horse will win the race? So think about the odds that they give you. It's 2 to 5 for winning the race. That means the 2 are all the times that they win, and the 5 are all the times that they lose. So if we want to figure out probability, we want what we want out of the total. So how many times does this horse win? Well, isn't that the 2? Out of a total of 7, not 5, because 5s are the losses. If I want probability, I want the wins and the losses added together. So really the probability that I would win is 2 out of 7, where the odds are 2 to 5. A little bit different, but can you go back and forth from probability to odds and odds to probability? Now that was just one example. So what I think you should do is go onto Canvas, go underneath the Chapter 11 module, and I would like you to print off the practice worksheet for 11.6. I've made a couple of extra practice problems going back and forth from odds to probability and probability to odds. There's an answer key on there. Don't look yet though. Do the worksheet first and then see if you got the right answers. There's a few tricky ones on there, but I want to make sure that you really do practice the odds idea and then going back and forth from probability to odds and odds to probability. There was only one example, so make sure you do that practice worksheet before getting into your homework to make sure you understand it, okay? All right, let me know if you need anything, have any questions. I know we've covered a lot. We have a couple more sections left. Hang in there, guys.